Alright, what is up you guys? Welcome back to the channel. We've got path 5. We actually have 5 fights. Yet this video is close to 13 minutes long. Anyways, we're in here. I was contemplating pretty hard whether I should bring in Quake instead of Ghost. And in the end, I didn't bring Quake, and it was a mistake because first fight we got a Dormammu, so I gotta play this super slow. Basically what I'm gonna try to do is parry as much as I can, try to get my debuffs in. As you can see, Dormammu's I already got a pretty big chunk of health off of him, but if I would have used Quake, this fight would have been over already. Considering my Quake is rank 5 already. Yeah. And then for the next fights, I didn't even use Ghost. I was thinking that it was going to be an Iron Man Infinity War on 16, and that's why I brought my Ghost. So I was like, okay, it's going to be an Iron Man Infinity War. I just gotta be careful and use an SP2 to kill. But it didn't even end up being an Iron Man Infinity War. I go into this node, I see it's a rank 5, okay, I'm thinking, alright, it's gotta be an Iron Man Infinity War. And then I look at the health, and I was like, wait a minute, that health pool does not look familiar. I think Iron Man Infinity War with, what is it, 3, I'm not sure if it's 200% or 300% more health. I think it's 200%. Has just over 100k, I would say around 105 to 110k health on that kind of node. And yeah, it turns out to be Sentinel, so that's why I go in with Void, because it would have been like a Sentinel or maybe a Green Goblin. But yeah, I'm like, oh gosh, this is gonna be a pretty uphill fight. I gotta get in my debuffs. He's gonna have Power Reserve, plus he's awakened, and his awakened ability basically, it's basically like another Power Reserve. So yeah, I'm in here, I'm like, okay, we're gonna have to somehow survive with like basically a double Power Reserve plus Kinetic Reactor. Luckily, I do, with Void's Petrify, that does counteract the Kinetic Reactor. And the other thing as well is that Void is Incinerate immune. So even if I do get hit with the SP2, which, spoiler, I do, I should be mostly fine. The thing is, if I get hit with any other champion with even one Incinerate, that one Incinerate will tick me down a huge chunk. Alright, so we're a minute and 20 seconds in. I did get clipped with that. I was thinking, oh cool, like an armor break, that'll heal me up, but I forgot about the heal block. So yeah, the one, well, 2, but the one fight that I had, and it's heal block. But yeah, we almost have our second Fear of the Void, which is good for us. That means every time he hits into our block, he will actually lose power. Not that it matters that much, but I think every bit helps. So yeah, we're just trying to evade all these specials. The thing I love about Void is that it seems like as long as the champion isn't like debuff immune or shrugs off debuffs too often, or all of them, Void is pretty good at eventually taking down the fight. Even though it does become a long fight, the fact that he's so consistent is what I love about Void. Next fight, it's a rank 4. I was like, whoa, okay. And I'm thinking, okay, it's gotta be a Wasp. 5-star due to this low health pool, it's gotta be a Wasp. Thinking, okay, it shouldn't be too bad. Champions right now, any champion with critical, like guaranteed critical hits, basically, so for example, Ghost, she gets that passive crit, which guarantees the next critical hit. Even if she doesn't hit you directly, she can still hit through your block. So Wasp as well, if you bait a heavy, the next 2 hits are supposed to be critical hits. So if you block any of those hits afterwards, after evading her heavy, they'll also be critical hits through your block. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, okay, I'm not sure if I should heal just because of those critical hits. It might cost me a death. So it does take me a little while to get in here. I'm thinking whether I should take it or not, if I should boost, if I should heal. But eventually I just kind of like tell myself, alright, let's just do it that way. Tomorrow I can just hit void. I can just hit no 29, which is thing, and then maybe take one more fight and I'll be good for the day. Alright, so I'll go in here and it's a freaking electro, dude. I was like, oh damn it. Okay, think. Alright, and so eventually I'm thinking, okay, I gotta keep parrying. Gotta make sure all my debuffs stick. I gotta try to hit only when he's parried. That way, because I do have 2 points in pacify. The other thing I gotta watch out is for SP1, because it is kind of tricky. If I'm too close, I can get clipped by the end hit. But so far it's actually working really well. I end up giving up on that parry strategy just because I can't be trying to get all fancy just to avoid a little bit of damage. I'd rather take a little bit more damage and not lose the fight. So eventually he does go down, evade that heavy, and Electro goes down. I think I lost about 30% of my health there, which, considering it was an Electro, I think it wasn't too bad, especially on Masochism. Alright, on to our 4th fight, which is Thing on 29. Now I'm sorry that the game audio isn't on. I recorded these fights, I think on silent mode, so it didn't record the audio. Usually what I have to do is use Handbrake to get the audio working. But yeah, so that's why you're hearing the background music. I know some of you guys don't like it, some of you guys do like it, so it might be a mix here in the future. So alright, so go in. I'm gonna use an advanced power boost just because in our battle group we're just always trying to minimize deaths, and I didn't want to just die to Thing on 29 because it would cost me more potions than if I didn't boost. So far it's going pretty good. Just gotta watch out. And what I'm trying to do right now is try to take off his Masochism. That way my next debuff sticks. But unfortunately, I took a little bit too long, so it ate my debuff instead of eating the parry stun. Alright, and another thing, the reason I use the Power Start 1 is just because it gives me a head start in the fight. And right there, I got nipped, and the reason for that is because last second I decided, alright, intercept, because he has 14 out of 15 rock charges. And if he throws a special, I'm going to be in big trouble. Here, I got pushed to an SP2 and I'm like, ah, shoot, that's a huge issue. Because if you get the degen, I'm in big trouble. But luckily, I have no idea what happened actually, but for some reason the Dark Sting didn't activate, it seems. So if one of them would have been a degen, he would have gotten 300% power gain for as long as that debuff would have been there. Now we're over a minute and a half in, and he's still over half health. I'm still calm, but I'm keeping in mind I gotta start sticking more debuffs, especially I need to get Petrify on there. And now here, after the 1 minute mark, is when I start to really get my debuffs in. Alright, throws his SP2. I do like to bait his SP2s more than anything, just because if you bait the SP1, he is a map hog. Alright, and 40 seconds left. He's got 10% health left, and man, those debuffs are doing work. Alright, we get in a couple last hits, and he goes down. So nice and easy. Just has that slip up where I second guessed myself and went for the intercept instead. I didn't show, but I did heal up Void right before 29. For this fight, I didn't heal up just because this is going to be my last fight. I'm still boosted, so I have somewhere around 25k health to play with. Plus this is Power Shield. I don't think, I mean, you always think you're not going to get hit most of the time. But yeah, I didn't think, okay, this is a pretty easy fight. I've done it before. I could just get in there and go for it. As you guys saw there, he was at 14, and I wasn't too worried about it. It was a little problematic, but because it's double power gain, you could push him to the next bar of power pretty easily. Now this fight, personally, I do find it a little bit more fun than some of the other fights with Thing. Just because it's basically a game of sticking debuffs. Alright, so we're a minute in, and obviously, as you can see, a lot faster than No 29, just because of Masochism eating up debuffs. And like I've said before, I do love putting on that Dark Sting just to have as many debuffs on as possible, getting in a little bit more damage. And you'll want to throw it right before Fear of the Void, activates. Alright, he's got 15 rock stacks, and he throws his special. So we're good there. Another SP1, and now we're definitely doing some pretty friggin' decent damage, with Power Shield or without Power Shield. Alright, he's got 13% health. And yeah, as you can see, whenever I throw a special, in that time before he hits his second part of the special, Void just does so much damage. Anyways, and that is it for my part of the war. Legacy should be uploading his part soon. He had a super intense lane. He took 6 to 7, which is usually my lane. But yeah, make sure to check him out. I'll put the link to his channel in the description. Anyways, guys, take care.